Mazin Nnamdi Kanu's case has become global. It's now a global phenomenon. Either you like it or not. You may not believe in him, you may not like it, but the reality is that so many things Nnamdi Kanu has said are all of the things playing out now. I'm going to play a video for you to watch, and you will see some of the reasons why Nnamdi Kanu should not even be in the prison in the first place, and why he should not even be tried. Is it from how he was brought from Kenya to Nigeria, and a lot of things, and so many of these things are already in the public domain. It's not something that I'm trying to make up or trying to say. Some things that some pastors are even coming online to tell you now. Mazin Nnamdi Kanu have said it some years ago, some months ago, and these things are playing out on a daily basis. Look at the recent kidnappings, killings that is happening across the globe, that is happening across Nigeria. I mean, Mazin Nnamdi Kanu predicted all of these things. You can see even some Hausas, some northern influencers, even some Fulani who do not believe in some of these killings that some part of their regions are carrying out, are now calling for the release of Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. That goes a long way to tell you that you may not like Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, you may not believe it, you may not like it, but the reality is that a lot of things that he has said is already coming to pass, and many has already come to pass, and these things have played out, which is so obvious and clear. As it stands, it's either Nigeria come together in a round table to ensure these things is resolved peacefully. But the way it's looking like, Nnamdi Kanu is not even looking like somebody that wants anything other than Biafra. And that is just the truth, which a stance which he has maintained for a very long time. And the Court of Appeal is cross appeals, and every appeal he has been trying to do, they accepting the cases is already winning, and all of those things is clearly showing that Nnamdi Kanu is not even ready for anything other than Biafra. And so are many of the supporters, that everything, anything whatsoever, whichever way they want it, is just Biafra. And they have a right to self-determination. So you can't take that away from them. And the truth is, believe it or not, sometimes as Nigerians, it seems we are lying to ourselves. We tend to lie to ourselves. See, the way things are going, it has clearly shown in a way that we cannot be one. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. We cannot be one, and we are not one. It's not about trying to force division, because the truth is, a typical Hausa man or a typical Yoruba man will not agree 100% with an Igbo man. A typical Fulani man, you can see what is going on now in the northern region, where Hausas are saying that they are not going to vote for the Fulanis. Now, the Hausas also now want their own people to aspire for higher positions, and these things are playing out. So there's so much fractions now that there is no amount of national dialogue can give us that kind of unity that will ensure that there is no more rancor. It's just the truth.
Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, there was also a judgment issuing from the Federal High Court sitting in Umuahia, which had declared his rendition from Kenya as unconstitutional. It didn't stop there. It went as far as declaring his continued detention in Abuja as unconstitutional. What will you do or expect a responsible government to do when the detention of her citizen is declared unconstitutional? You open the gates of the detention center and allow the citizen the free pass to go home. That's what Mazin Nnamdi Kanu desired to have been done with him since October 2022 when that judgment came, but the federal government never did. That's part of the reason why we are saying his detention has turned extrajudicial and is no longer backed by any coroner. 6. Regarding the December 2023 judgment of the Supreme Court, which people are touting as having sent Nnamdi Kanu's case back to the High Court for trial, it doesn't end there. If it ends there, then it's a mischievous conclusion. The court went further. It said Nnamdi Kanu needs to go back to the High Court for trial, but it also said the High Court should not have revoked his bail. It also said that by revoking his bail, the impartiality of the High Court judge had become suspect. Ladies and gentlemen, you may not be lawyers, but when the apex court of the land tells a High Court, you should not have done this, what remains is for a High Court to do that which, or undo that wrong which he had done. And Section 287 of Nigerian Constitution backs this up, because under that section, all subordinate courts in the country, or all courts in the country, are subordinate to the decisions of the Supreme Court. It never happened. 7. Now, talking about the much vaunted trial of Nnamdi Kanu, we raised objections to this trial too, based on the conditions of his detention, which were very stringent and highly prejudicial to his right to fair trial. This application was summarily denied and an accelerated trial was ordered in its place. We raised a second objection based on certain constitutional infirmities and statutory issues we noticed in the charges facing against Nnamdi Kanu. This too was summarily denied. So if you were Nnamdi Kanu, what will you do under the circumstances? To succumb to a trial you knew in your heart to be going towards the trajectory of an unfair trial, or to seek alternatives to that. 8.
Biafra agitation has gone global. And I also watched a video where Nnamdi Kanu was saying even some African countries, the likes of Benin Republic, Togo, and all of some West African countries, that Biafra land is going to supply oil and gas for them free, because he wants an economy of those nations to grow so that they can also patronize the Biafran land. And he said he's going to even supply oil and gas to Oduduwa Republic, that's the Yoruba nation, for free. See, the truth is, Nigeria is already fragmented, and it's not looking like we have a way to reconcile or somehow to become one. It's not looking at it at all. So I think it is in best interest. It is in best interest where everyone needs to just come together. Let us have a round table and see how each region can be on their own, manage their resources. And even this restructuring, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to do, restructuring in a way that every region can begin to maintain their resources. A lot of people do not still want this. A typical Nnamdi Kanu do not want that. And even so many Biafrans do not even want that. All they just want is just that Biafra. And that is the only way. And we can see so many international dimensions to it. And all of these things that have happened in our nation of recent has further gone to show that it's not looking like Nigeria can even ever be one, to be honest. So the reality is it's best time we come together and have a common meeting, have a national meeting, whereby we can go on our separate ways without war. Let us have a kind of national conference where we can know how to, these particular resources in this region and this, how we're going to do about it. Let us come together. Let us have an agreement. so that we can do this thing without war. And it's possible. It is possible. It is just for us to have an open mind and come together and ensure that this is done. Because trust me, war does not do any good, because lives will be lost, properties will be lost. But if we come together and find a way and a common ground to ensure that these things do not lead to war, we can still make progress. We can still make progress.